Invincible just dropped its best episode of the season, maybe one of the best in the entire series so far. The action in this episode is superb, the character growth is incredible, and the long-term setup in this is absolutely insane. This episode is everything Season 3 has been building towards, and it proves why Invincible is one of the best TV shows on right now. We finally get Invincible more. This is something we've been waiting for such a long time, and I gotta say, I am so thrilled with the execution of this. I love seeing all the different multiversal versions of Mark and just how different Mark could have become. I mean, we've been waiting for this since Season 2 with Angstrom leaving. We got the tease from before Angstrom even turned evil, where we saw evil Invincibles working with Omni-Man, just taking over different worlds, and I'm so happy that they did it just so well. The action in this episode is fantastic. It makes Season 1's finale with Chicago look like a walk in the park. I mean, you remember Chicago was a big plot point from this season, but this episode has so much more than just Chicago, and I love it. I love seeing how different characters reacted to it and how all the heroes from all over the globe came together to help deal with this crisis and the aftermath of it, because it was brutal. And I think especially moving from this event further on into the series, especially for next season, just the implications of this is going to be felt probably for the rest of the show. And I'm so happy with it. This, I don't think, could have been done any better. The character growth in this episode is also really good, as it has always been for this show. We finally get to see Oliver as we saw him grow in this season, fighting alongside Invincible and pushing what he views as right onto Invincible. And I very much like that, because we saw that before a few episodes ago when Oliver killed someone with the Mahler twins, and get some more with it here, and we know it's going to continue to, as he continues to grow, we're going to get more of it, and I'm loving it. I'm loving Oliver and the growth he's had, and we said it before, but he really does just feel like Damian Wayne, and I absolutely love it. I like how even though in this show about superheroes, we still get time to see Mark's mom. We get to see Debbie, we get to see her boyfriend, and we get to see how they're dealing with things. And that's something I think a lot of shows miss, especially shows of this grandeur and especially this much fantasy, is we don't get to see what it is for common people. And I liked seeing Debbie continue to grow and how she's dealing with things. I hope that never stops. She's a great character, and honestly, I feel for her raising two superhuman children, living with Omni-Man. She's definitely one of the strongest characters in the show. And Mark's growth in this episode and the consequences of it, I cannot wait to see what happens. When the world is destroyed, well, all but destroyed by someone with your face, how do you cope with that? How do you deal with it? I mean, you're in the news, your face can be plastered everywhere. People know it's not you, but it's your fault. And whenever they see you, they're going to think of this. One thing I'm also a huge fan of, and I feel like Mark's really coming to this realization in this episode, is Cecil. Cecil is a brilliantly written character, and he's willing to do whatever it takes for the greater good. And there's been a big clash between him and Mark for the entire season, but it's never been Cecil versus Mark. It's kind of just been Mark versus Mark. You don't have to agree with how Cecil does things. That's fine. But Cecil's always going to be on the side of the greater good, and he's there to help when you need him. And I think Mark's starting to realize that, and I greatly appreciate it, just because the resources that Cecil has is staggering. And even though Mark has broken into the Pentagon, threatened Cecil's life so many times, Cecil still forgives him, and is like, because he's a child. He's 19, and he makes rash decisions, and he's been through so much more than probably even the average hero has been through. And I'm glad that Cecil still has Mark's back through everything and is proving that to him. And that, I love Cecil. One of the best characters in this show. And I don't want to get into spoilers, but this episode definitely brought some tears to my eyes. This is how you write sad moments. This show did it so well, and I'm happy with it. I think they could have done better with the setup leading up to it. I don't want to go into too many details because of spoilers, but they could have done that a little bit better. But this episode's execution of it was well done. A lot better than other sad moments we've seen recently. I'm glad that they changed some things from the comics because it definitely added to it. And I'm very, very satisfied with this. Angstrom Levy absolutely succeeded here with his goal. I don't know how Mark's going to recover from this from a long time, but at least now we do have this next setup. Because you would think this would be the season finale with how big this was. But next episode with Conquest, I'm hoping that it's going to be even bigger and it's going to be better than this episode. I absolutely cannot wait. If you have not seen any of our reviews yet, please go check out our previous episode review with Powerplex. If you're a fan of superheroes or a fan of just great storytelling and character development, Invincible is 100% for you.